Hey, good evening to a Thursday edition of the Crawford Chronicles. Actually, it's a very special edition because we are celebrating an Astros series victory. Oh, I didn't hear it. Thought I played it. Oh well. Well, I was supposed to play it in applause, but hey.
Woohoo!
So I am one of our two hosts. Obviously, we do not have PK here. He is out with the out with the old lady, going out and doing old lady a couple things. So tonight, unfortunately, you are stuck with
You almost
myself
said doing old lady
and
stuff.
yeah. Tonight you guys are unfortunately stuck with myself and my cohort over here, Bryles. Bryles, how's your week going, man?
It's been good, buddy. It's been busy. Colt and I got to get to the Astros game on Monday, and as you've already mentioned, that was the one loss we took for the series. So that part wasn't fun. We'll get into that here in just a little bit, and then I got to go hang out with the Baytown boys on Wednesday. So shout out to all those guys. And we did indeed get the win there. So I am 500 for the week on games attended. So we'll leave it at that. And then that's been about it, man. It's just been busy, been a good work week, and that's about it, man. How about you?
Man, I'm not gonna lie, I've been working a lot, working for the man every night and day. Looking forward to a hopefully a nice quiet weekend. And man, that's really it, man. I see that you are rocking the new Astros 4th of July hat. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty damn sweet. And hopefully,
Yes, sir.
if everything works out well, we will be at the Space Cowboys game on Friday, and I will be wearing one of those come next Sunday. That is the goal. But let's go ahead and get into the Astros and Tigers series. So one thing I would like to also do as well is officially give PK. He's officially off the snide. He actually won a series prediction. And so he still will get to the standings, but he's still holding down last place. So there you go, PK. Congratulations. Um, but yeah, I mean, the series got off to kind of a rocky start. Tigers won the first game 9-3. And then you had the return of Hunter Brown in game two, where that one was it was Brown versus Framber Valdez. And of course, I mean, when Framber pitched against us, it was turn back the clock Framber. That was a pitcher's duel all the way until the end, where the Astros squeaked out that victory. Then yesterday, you had old Cy Young himself, Peter Lambert, again dealing. And the Astros finished off the Tigers 4-2 yesterday to claim the series win. Bryles, since it's just you and I tonight, what are your immediate thoughts from the Tiger series?
Well, it ended up being a good series. I wouldn't have said that from what Colt and I got to see on Monday, because Monday we were playing catch up the entire game. The Tigers put one on in the first, one on the board in the second, three on the board in the third, and then they were scoring about every other inning. All the offense that we could muster was a Paredes shot while we had a runner on first, and then Altuve hit another home run right behind him to go back to back. So that was our three runs. That was in the third inning, and then they really couldn't get much going. The frustrating part about that too is Anderson had to come in and do a spot start on Monday, and we definitely were not prepared for that. He looked like he made the Astros look like a minor league team, honestly, for the first part of that. And then if you guys were checking out what I was sending out on X, Tang was out there and he was doing his best, but man, I'm telling you, he is not a starter. And that is exactly what I said on X. He does not have the full package to be a starter. He was walking batters, hitting batters, giving up runs. I thought they were going to pull him in the first, and then they ended up leaving him in there just to give up four more runs. So I was really disappointed in what we saw from him. Everything that we have seen from Tang in the bullpen has looked fantastic. And I understand the need to stretch him out, just because you need starting pitching right now with the injuries that we've had. But we've got Javier coming. He's, I believe, needs one more rehab start in AAA. and then he'll be coming up. And I really hope what we end up seeing is Tang going back into the bullpen where he belongs, and then getting his ERA back to where it was when he was in the bullpen, which was under 2. So let's get that train a moving and go forward from there. I know we'll get into the Tuesday and Wednesday games quickly here in a minute. What did you see on Monday?
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you brought up Tang because I went ahead and pulled up his numbers for the last 3 starts, and they're not good. His last 3 starts, he's 0-3, 12.1 innings pitched, and 14 earned runs. So,
That's
yeah,
not
I
good.
mean, like, I feel like, and I don't want to jump ahead because the news came out. I know we still have 2 other games to look at real quick for the Tiger series, but the news did come out that Burrows is going to get his start skipped, and I believe he's going to the bullpen. So looking at the way Tang has struggled over his last handful of starts, and now you've got Burrows also going to the bullpen. It's going to be very interesting what the Astros are going to do once Christian Javier's activated and brought back on the active roster. So, I mean, the big thing I got from that first game is just Tang has struggled his last handful of starts, and I don't know what the plan is. I mean, I don't know if they plan on sending him down once Javier is up. I mean, you could very well make a case to send Burrows down when Javier comes back up. I mean, but both of them are definitely, I would say, as far as the rotation wise, absolutely skating on thin ice, as well as both of them, or at least one of them, is probably skating on thin ice when it comes to staying on the Astros roster. But we'll get into that in a little bit. So let's get this Tiger series wrapped up. Like I said earlier in the fantastic, flawless, no mistake intro that I made, you had Hunter Brown return. The man, the myth, the legend, Diesel is back, throwing gas, and he had himself a nice little showdown against Framber Valdez, who decided that this was going to be the game that he goes back to 2022 Framber. And I mean, for the most part, I liked what I saw out of Hunter Brown. I mean, five and some change, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. I mean, that's not bad for a guy coming, making his first start off the IL after being out for what it seems like forever, but I think it's like 2 months he ended up missing, somewhere around there. I mean, so gave up no earned runs. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Welcome back to the Astros starting rotation by Hunter Brown.
Yeah, no, he looked fantastic. And this is exactly what we thought it was going to be on paper. Valdez pitched well, like you said, coming back. And of course, he was going to pitch well against the Astros. That was probably one at the very beginning of the season. He circled on the schedule and said, okay, this series, listen, I'm going to actually go out there and pitch. He doesn't want to get embarrassed in Houston. Of course he doesn't. But we all know who Framber is and, and what the problems that he has, and he was actually able to get through that with this start. So anyway, put that aside. The most important part was, yes, the return of Hunter Brown and how well he looked coming out. I mean, he only gave up, 1 run? Yeah, he gave up 1 run in the second inning, and that was it. So long story short, he looked prepared. He looked like coming out of his rehab starts that he was ready to go. And then he proved it when he got on the field on Tuesday. So very glad to see him back in this rotation, a very much needed ace back in this rotation, as we've already touched on the struggles with the rotation and, all the issues we've had there. And then before I go any further into that, let's talk about the man that is the reason we won that game, and that is Raynel Delgado. So congratulations on getting your first hit and the go-ahead single to put us ahead. And just from there, we came back and won this in the bottom of the 9th with 3 runs. And Delgado's the one that got it started. His story has been absolutely awesome since he came up. Honestly, I didn't know that much about him. But, I mean, when you get your first major league hit, and after being in the minors for 8 years, and then to have his whole family there and everything else, it was absolutely fantastic. So kudos to you, sir. Glad you got to do it, and I'm really glad you got to do it in an Astros uniform.
Yeah, I mean, he's when they first traded for him, I mean, I knew he was a big speed guy, and I knew he played multiple positions in the infield. I was unaware of his backstory. I mean, I knew that he spent some time in multiple different organizations as far as the minor leagues. But yeah, man, hell, I mean, if he continues to play well, I mean, that could be your everyday shortstop. That could be your everyday third baseman for the future. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, Pena didn't get the role of shortstop till he was 25, and I think Delgado's 25. I mean, so I mean, you never know, but you got, I feel like you got to let the kid play and see what he's got. But before we go into the third game, I wanted to talk real quickly about there was two things that caught my eye after that game. It was the comments. Maybe it was before the game. Uh, I guess they talked to Fromber, and through his interpreter, I guess he was saying that the Astros. I don't know if it was this offseason. I'm pretty sure it was this offseason that they did not offer him any type of offer on a contract renewal. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, like I figured that after the collapse he had in the second half of last season, I feel like the Astros were ready to cut ties. But I think the best quote I heard was they interviewed Joe Espada before that game. And Espada was like, well, we're playing Fromber, and we all kind of know how Fromber is. We have a game plan, and I got a feeling we're going to execute it. Well, Joe, spoiler alert, you didn't. You didn't execute it at all because, Fromber dominated the Astros until he got pulled out. So I don't know if you saw those quotes that, I brought up. And if you did, I mean, what did you think about them?
I did see that, and to be honest with you, I am not surprised that they didn't offer him anything to come back to the Astros because one, we already knew what he wanted money wise, which was way more than any organization was probably going to give him. And then two, I think he cooked his goose when he tied up Salazar and hit him in the chest. I think at that point, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. They were just tired of his shenanigans. They were tired of the mental head game that also comes with Fromber. Don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic pitcher. He showed that on Tuesday, but I am 100% sure that with all the things that were going on, they were tired of just all of his nonsense and weren't going to pay him anywhere close to that. So if he's just going to reject the offer, why are you even going to put an offer in? It's like putting an offer in on a $500,000 house for $250,000. They're not going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. All right, well, hey, Fromber, it was good to see you, but now, let's move on to more important things. So we wrap up the Tiger series yesterday with, I have to say, I was wrong. And I'm not afraid to admit that I was wrong because I came on our show multiple times and I was telling everybody how the Burrows trade was going to be the steal of the offseason, and it's been completely terrible. He's we talked about earlier, he's just got bumped down to the bullpen. But Peter freaking Lambert has been, in my opinion, the steal of the offseason. Again, he goes out, what does he throw? 7. I think he gave up 1 run. I mean, Peter Lambert, holy moly. This guy has been fantastic. And I know that he's had his rough starts here and there, but man, for the most part, he's been legit. I mean, so like he has played. I mean, the Astros, I know they're still 6 games under 500, but between him and Spencer Arrighetti, and every now, the first few starts Tang as well, but mainly Peter Lambert. Peter Lambert has been a gangster since he's put on an Astros uniform. And honestly, good for him, man. Good for him because he pitched a gem yesterday. The Astros, again, win 4-2, win the series. And I think the big thing to take away from yesterday is the fact that there was no getaway lineup yesterday. And just imagine when you don't always go to the goon squads, you can win series. So, Browse, what do you think?
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head, man. It's just like I went off last week and was saying, I'm like, listen, you've got to win all these games. That is what we have to do moving forward. No more goon squad. No more trying to get these guys off the end of the bench just because you want to get them in the game for whatever reason. That's fine. Get them in the game, but get them in the game when we're either up 5 or down 5. So anyway, kudos, Espada. Maybe you heard me, maybe you didn't, but anyway, I'd like to think that you did. So anyway, like I said, I was at that game on Wednesday, and the guys I was with, they're all like, "Who's Peter Lambert?" And I'm like, "If you don't know who Peter Lambert is now, they're like, well, is he any good?" And I'm like, "Okay, listen, yes, he is good. If I was to reset the entire rotation right now, it'd go Brown, Arrighetti, and Lambert. That's exactly how I would put these guys in there, and he is done so to the point where every inning I was pointing up and I'm like, guys, see what the scoreboard looks like right now? He had a no-no going through 5 innings, guys. So I thought I might get to see some history while we were there on Wednesday. It didn't quite go that way, but hey, we had a really good game. He pitched really, really well, and we were actually able to get some offense in there. Jeremy Pena looked very good on the offensive side. Once again, Cam Smith, who looked good this entire series, he looked good on the offensive side. And then, as always, Jordan was just absolutely mashing this whole series as well. So anyway, between those 3 guys, that's what I will say put us over the top with the series win on Wednesday. And then, yeah, hopefully we get that version of Lambert for the rest of the season. And, dude, just keep that train moving, man. That's what I really hope happens.
I like it. Yeah, man. He's been a fantastic find. I mean, so like I know Dana Brown gets a lot of he gets a lot of crap, for the Emi struggles, the Burrow struggles, but you can say what you want. He hit the nail on the head. He nailed it with this Peter Lambert signing. So, I mean, with the bad comes the good, with the good comes with the bad, I mean, so you got to give the man his flowers, you know, if you can give him shit, you can give him his flowers when he does something right. So, and I feel like he's nailed Peter Lambert
Fair
so
enough.
far. So moving on, as now the Tigers are in the back, the rearview mirror. So we are officially, and I know we're not exactly to the day because we're like 6 weeks and 1 day. We might be jumping on the premature, the trade deadline talk a little premature, but like I said, we're 6 weeks out. And we're still trying to figure out, is this team going to be buyers? Are they going to be sellers? I personally think that because the AL is such hot garbage, they're probably going to be within 3 to 4 games, at least to the wild card, which is going to force them to buy. So the reason why I bring this up is that I read an article today, or maybe it was yesterday, day before. I don't know. I'm getting old. My memory's not as good as it used to be. And the title of this article was Jarren Duran is the best fit for the Astros going in, coming into the trade deadline, which I kind of have mixed feelings about because it's like, yes, I understand where they're coming from. The Astros need outfield help, obviously. However, Jarren Duran is hitting 210 on the season. We've got a handful of outfielders that are hitting 210 right now. I don't think, I don't think we need to add another one unless it's just one of those guys that he comes into the Astros lineup and then something just gels. And, what worries me about that as well is how expensive the Red Sox made them in the offseason. So, Browse, where you're at right now, like I said, we're 6 weeks and a day away from the trade deadline. In your opinion, are the Astros, and this is an early opinion. Your opinion can change as we get to 4 weeks out, a month out, a week out. But as of right now, are the Astros buyers or sellers? And what are your immediate thoughts on the potential of this article that could mean nothing about Jarren Duran being a perfect fit for the Houston Astros?
All right, let me unpack this. As far as the Astros being buyers or sellers, honestly, I think they're going to be buyers. Now, I don't think they're going to be huge buyers, but you got to think about what the American League is right now. And the American League is basically just a hodgepodge of right around 500 teams. There's nobody out there that's absolutely killing it from a record standpoint. So I think you're going to see almost all the teams except for the bottom rung of teams in the American League being buyers. So where does that leave the National League? The National League's got a little bit more parity. You've got more top-heavy teams out there than you do, especially over here, except for the NL Central. The NL Central, if I remember correctly, every single team in that division is over 500 right now. So it's going to be really scary to see what we're going to be able to get and what the price tags are going to be for some of these. So with that said, here's the problem that I see. I see that we don't have a whole lot down in the minors that we can use as trade chips. And then two, if we're trying to get somebody like Duran, just like we talked about in the offseason, it's going to cost a Paredes or something like that. And now with Carlos Correa being on the shelf for the rest of the season, you don't have that extra infielder necessarily that you can just throw out there and say like, hey, this guy's a perfect fit. You know, we had one too many infielders to begin with. So go get Jarren Duran and go from there. And especially with as well as Christian Walker's been playing, Paredes is out there playing well. You haven't really had any other infielders that have been just stealing the show. You got to have Pena and Altuve up the middle. So if they get Duran, don't get me wrong, I know he's hitting 210. He's got more potential than, say, like a Trammell or even a Delgado or any of these other guys that they've been putting out there. So my question is what are the Red Sox going to want? And I think they're going to want too much for him. So is he a really good fit for our team? And would he be great for Dakin Park? I think he would be. But at the same time, I don't think we get him because I think the asking price is going to be way too high. I think the asking prices on a ton of these players are going to be high. So I think we're going to be buyers at the deadline, but don't expect to see some of these really big names coming through and coming in a Houston uniform after the deadline's over.
Well,
how about you? What do you think?
No, I agree. I mean, like from a logical standpoint, I mean, obviously the situation was different in the offseason because you had one too many infielders. I think that Walker would be very hard to move because of his price tag and his age, and I'm not saying that nobody would be interested in Walker, but as far as the Boston thing, I mean, I would assume you're probably 100% right. They'd probably want to ask for probably Paredes. I mean, but the thing is that, I believe Jarren Duran's contract ends at the end of this season. I mean, so you're looking at a rental that's hitting 210. So, I mean, could you move Paredes? I mean, I guess you could. I mean, but then you have a hole at third base, although I believe there's a guy down in AAA right now that could play third base. He can also play second base. He can also play first base. And he can play the corner outfield, who's been tearing it up in AAA. I mean, that would be a good time to, bring him up. I mean, but like, again, like I just feel like the Astros right now are not built to right now, they're not built to make a deep playoff run. I just don't think that they're there. And then are they deep enough to where they can move a Paredes because they have a guy in AAA that's ready to take the spot? No. I mean, so they're not really built long term either. So, I mean, all of the, like I said before, all their best prospects are about 2 to 4 years away at best. At the best, 2 years, more than likely 3 to 4 years away. So, I mean, like it just depends on what they're going to do. I know Dana Brown said they're not going to go out and trade Yordan or Pena, but I think, and I know it's not going to be popular for a lot of Astros fans. I feel like if you're going to make a big move, this is the time to trade Jeremy Pena. I mean, he's probably not going to re-sign, right? You have enough guys between Delgado, and I'm not saying these guys are going to plug right in behind Jeremy Pena and make everybody forget about Jeremy Pena. I mean, but like you're running into another Bregman situation where more than likely you're not going to play 162 next season because you're probably going to get a lockout. I mean, so, and if you trade Pena now, you're going to get a hell of a lot more value out of that trade package coming back than you're going to if you trade him next season or, trade him in the offseason. I mean, but I mean, you have teams that are in need of a shortstop, and I know that this basically goes against them going forward. I mean, but like I would rather sell out another couple seasons and have another 10-year run than sell out for one season where the team, let's be honest, I mean, with all the holes in the outfield, and you got holes in the rotation as well, this team more than likely at best may get through the wild card. Maybe. So, I mean, it's definitely a conversation that we're going to continue to start having more as we get closer to the trade deadline. I think this was a really good intro to the trade deadline, and I think they should call up Kevin Biggio as well. So I'm just going to put that in there because I believe he should be called up, but that's just me. And apparently a couple of other, people believe the same. So, but Brawls, let's go ahead and transition to our last segment of the night. We get into the predictions for we've got not the Indians, the Guardians coming up. So let's take a look at how yours truly and the rest of the boys here at the Crawford Chronicles did for the Detroit series. As you can see, good God, this is still completely terrible. I completely snapped my 1-game winning streak. So now I'm 9-12. PK is finally part of the 5-win club. It took him, I don't know, 2 months into the season, 3 months into the season to get there. And Brawls is holding down second place.
Right.
This is tough, man. This looks like the AL wild card right now. It's brutal. So, all right, Brawls, go ahead and give us the give us the pictures.
All right, into Father's Day weekend, guys. All right, Friday, the Guardians, you got Shane Bibby, 7 record and a 3.96 ERA. So, as Chris and I discussed offline, it's got to be, he's not getting very much run support. So, anyway, he's going up against I-45 EMI, 3-3 with a 6.43 ERA. He hasn't exactly been knocking it out of the park lately, but has gotten better. So, let's improve on that ERA and keep the training going. Saturday, you got Joey Cantillo for the Guardians, 5-3 with a 4.38 ERA against Spencer Arrighetti, 7-2 with a sparkling 2.57 ERA. And then going into Father's Day, you've got Slade Ciccone, 3-5 with a 4.6 ERA. I'm hoping I said that correctly. Against the guy we've already talked about, Tang, and it is not Burrows. Burrows going to the bullpen. So Tang, 3-6 with a 4.31 ERA. That's what you're looking at now for that Sunday matchup. Don't be shocked if that one changes, but that's what we've got on paper as of this very moment. So, Chris, what do you got for the weekend, buddy?
All right. So before I get into my pick, so PK stopped by my office today and he was like, I'm going 2-1 Astros. And I was like, man, I don't know. Or no, he said he was going to go 2-1 Guardians. And I said, I don't know, man. Jose Ramirez is out for the next, month or two, and you've got Imai and all them going. So then he changed his prediction to Astros 2-1. And I'm saying this because here's how I feel. I'm going to go Guardians 2-1. And here's why. Imai has just been way too inconsistent. Like, I don't know which Imai we're going to get. Are we going to get the Imai that had 4 great starts? Or are we going to get the Imai that gets, has a 9-run lead and gives up 5 runs and gets pulled in the first inning? So that is such a, and plus, Bobby pitches pretty good against the Astros anyway. So I'm going 2-1 Guardians. I think they'll win the game that Arrighetti pitches. Again, we went over the last few games that Tang has pitched, and he hasn't looked good. So if Tang is pitching that Sunday game, I'm going to go 2-1 Guardians. If they throw in anybody else, I don't know who they would throw, outside of that, unless they have a change of heart last minute, give it to Burrows, which if that's the case, I'd still go 2-1 Guardians.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm going 2-1 Guardians as well. But the reason I'm doing it is once again, that Sunday game with Tang. I mean, he's just been gasoline on a fire lately with his starts. We got to get him back in the bullpen. I agree. I think we win the Arrighetti game on Saturday. As far as the game on Friday, tomorrow is concerned, you're right. I mean, it's a complete toss-up. You don't know which Imai you're going to get. Last time we saw him on the mound in Houston, it was not pretty. But at the same time, he still, I think he got a no decision in that game. I'm pretty sure he did. Anyway, point being, his ERA's ballooned all the way up to 6.43 again. He's got to get that down. So that's the coin flip game for me. But honestly, the way Imai's pitched his last 2 starts, I wouldn't trust it. So I'm actually taking the Guardians too. But this is going to be a low-scoring series. So honestly, Chris and I could be wrong. PK could be wrong. Honestly, it could go a sweep either way. I think these are 2 very evenly matched teams right now with the way that their offenses performed. The only thing is I think the Guardians do definitely have an edge on us in the pitching department. So that's why I'm going that decision.
Oh, I like it. I mean, it makes sense. I would love to be wrong and the Astros win the series or they sweep the Indians. I mean, that works too. I mean, so I'm good with that. But it's just, I mean, there's just too much inconsistency from the first game and the third game, and then I don't know. Does Joe Espada go back to the Goon Squad on Sunday? I mean, you don't know. Maybe they'll call up Kevin Biggio and they'll, complete the prophecy. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, guys, I'm telling you, that's the hill I'm going to die on. I'm dying on that hill. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Hopefully, everybody has had a fantastic week. Everyone hopefully survived and didn't have too much craziness with the tropical storm or whatever that was that came through. Us here at the Crawford Chronicles want to wish all the dads a fantastic happy Father's Day. Hope you guys get to relax, eat some good food, maybe have the kids leave you alone for the weekend or at least a day. Hopefully, if everything works out well. If you guys like what you're hearing, we go live every Sunday and Thursday nights here. You can follow us on X, Facebook, Instagram, and what's the other one? TikTok as well. So, guys, have a fantastic weekend. Oh, and Spotify too. See, that's why I keep you around, man. So you guys have a fantastic weekend, and we'll catch you guys. I'm Homer Chris. This is my guy, Bryles, and we'll catch you guys on Sunday for the next episode of the Crawford Chronicles.
Yeah, it should be a good Father's Day weekend, man. Got Astros baseball, got World Cup, and the U.S. Open. So not going to be short of sports, that's for sure.
I'm just hoping I get to sleep in. That's all I ask.